Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. In our quest to discuss entrepreneurship, they come in many sizes and forms and shapes, and a lot of professional service firms in the United States. And so we're glad to announce and report that our next guest is Jessica Shraybman, founder and managing partner, Shraybman Law. But before we start, Jessica, I just want to say also I have a co-host for this segment, the fabulous and one and only Marc Zwetskenbaum. Welcome back, Marc.
Thank you, Jeff. Great to be back and great to share the show with you to discuss Jessica.
So, Jessica, tell us about your law firm.
Sure. Thanks for asking. So we are an art, media, and entertainment firm boutique here in Miami. Basically, what I tell people is that I protect talent from bad deals.
Well, that's pretty good, especially since I don't know if it's good or bad. I saw the Pee Wee Herman movie yesterday on the weekend, and he talked about, it's kind of an interesting thing he did before he passed away, doing all these tapings. And I assume this is a very difficult part of the law for entertainment because they don't understand the law.
Yeah, yes. And in my more than 10 years now working with creative entrepreneurs, there's usually like a specific point in time where a creative comes to realize that they are also running a business. And it kind of becomes like an existential moment for them where they have to decide and a lot of times struggle with the decision of whether to stay the creative in their business or to become the business person in their business. And particularly for a lot of artists, like visual artists in specific and musicians as well, they struggle with that because they are first and to their core creatives and artists. So it can be very challenging, yes. And that's where I come in, and I'm very thankful to those who turn to me to be kind of the business brain in their careers.
And before Marc jumps in, you're probably in the right market for it. Isn't Miami a pretty up and coming entertainment market right now?
Yes. Not all of the entertainment industries are necessarily the ones that I target. We have increasingly much bigger of an adult entertainment market here, but we do have incentives, business incentives for like film and music and production in general, which is a lot more my realm, and it's a lot of fun. And you're right, we are thriving here.
So, Jessica, how do you go about protecting the artists and their particular work? What distinguishes your firm in relation to maybe larger firms that led you to be able to be specific in this area?
Oh, thank you. That's such a great question. So my specialty, well, number one, I have both an art and a business background myself. I never wanted to be an attorney. When that kind of became my path, I knew that if I was going to practice law, I wanted it to be related to art and business. So number one, I think that because that is the language that I speak, it's just a lot easier for creatives for us to relate to one another, and they know that I know what they're going through and what they have going on. So I think that's very helpful. And secondly, my expertise for the past decade or more has been specifically in business and intellectual property, which is essentially the assets that creative entrepreneurs have. For a lot of them, I represent a lot of like personal brands, as you can call them. So it's where the person is the brand. Exactly. And they may have like a whole slew of revenue streams. And a lot of the IP, it comes to their personal branding as well as whatever the creative assets are that they're creating, whether it's designs for their swimsuit line or relationships with manufacturers for their supplement lines or their clothing lines, or their name, their image, their likeness in terms of the endorsements that they're doing, the public appearances that they're doing. So I think what sets me apart is that my specialty is very specifically in those two things, and that's all I do. And when something else comes up for my clients, because I do serve as general counsel for them, like one of my clients right now is going through a personal matter with her partner. So thankfully, I've been in Miami for 21 years now. I have a pretty extensive network, and I can call on specialty counsel to come and assist with those things as needed.
So you're an advisor and sort of an agent too when you're handling a lot of the issues. So, for example, you'll be the outside GC, and then different issues happen, whether or not you need somebody who has strong IP background. So you'll bring in that person. You can do so much, but if it gets to be sort of more intensive, then you'll bring in some help there. So you'll guide the process. Is that a good evaluation?
Yeah, definitely. Not when it comes to IP. When it comes to IP, I'm handling most of that. I'm not a patent attorney, but other than that, I'm copyrights, licenses, marks, prosecuting and enforcing, cease and desist letter, and litigation. I myself do not litigate, but so I do bring on litigators when needed. But to your point, yes, because I am the general counsel for my clients and I'm really their like right hand person, I guess you can say. I'm really the one that's connecting all the dots and making sure that everything matches the overall strategy and the specific point and place and time that my clients are at. That often also has a big role to play in the decisions, the business decisions that they're making as well.
Do you find in terms of content and some of the work that you're doing that AI, artificial intelligence, is maybe something that you have to deal with each of your clients?
Yes. So I do have mostly, I would say, potential clients. Thankfully, the clients that I have, trust is the foundation, and that's a two-way relationship. So my clients mostly trust me to do my job and for them to not have to do it for me or think they're doing it for me. But it does come up a lot with potential clients who will send me like a contract that they have already drafted, and of course I know where it has come from, and I'm the first to say that I will be very pleased when AI puts me into early retirement. It's not there yet for the general public. I have tried to use it to help me with some I played around with it a couple of times for contract analysis, and I consistently found that it was misstating the law, misinterpreting the contracts, making things up, even when I specifically prompt it, to just analyze, give me your answers just specifically based on this text. And actually, it's interesting because last week a new study came out. I can't recall the institution that did this study, but it found that I believe I will say, one of the more popular ones right now gave incorrect information or hallucinated information, which means it made up information 47% of the time. So I do tell people to be careful, if they are going to use it for something like legal. But, it's catching up, and there are ways that we are using it as a tool of efficiency in our firm. And there are tools specifically for attorneys that cost a premium, but they are more so tools at this point than replacements. But I'm totally open for it. I would have no complaints if I were replaced.
Oh, we don't replace you.
Say that again.
We don't want to replace you.
Well, thank you. Yes, exaggerate a little bit. I, of course, also I love the work that I do, so I don't want to be forced out of it. But I don't think, at least for the level of expertise that I operate at, I don't think it's happening. At least not this year. So.
So, Jessica, do you have a team or are you a sole practitioner?
Yes. So the timing of this question is very precise. So I have had my firm for 8 years. And like many businesses, it has scaled and descaled and scaled and descaled. Right now I'm in a descaled phase, which, to be very candid, is rather nice to not be managing and to not be responsible for a team of 10 to 12 on any given day. So right now I'm very lean myself as the responsible attorney on for all of my clients. And then, with like a marketing assistant and a VA, very, very minor. But at this time, I have no attorneys and no paralegals on staff. So I'm enjoying the break. I will admit. I'm sure I will scale again in the future, but it's nice to kind of take a break, reevaluate, reimagine, and then get back at it when the time is right.
Sounds like an entrepreneur. I've been doing it for 40 years, and so's Marc. We're both full service entrepreneurs. We've been speaking with Jessica Shraybman, founder and managing partner, Shraybman Law. Jessica, if somebody wants to contact you, get to know you better, understand your services, how would they find you?
Thank you. So, Shraybman is a very small family. So, pretty much if you Google my name, Jessica Shraybman, Shraybman, you will find me on LinkedIn. You will find me on Instagram. You will find me on Facebook. You will find our website is shraybmanlaw.com. So, as long as you can spell the last name, I'm pretty easy to find.
Great. And we
Excellent.
hope you stay in touch with us. We're always interested in entertainment law. And the one and only Marc C, if people want to find you.
Thank you for appearing on the show. I mean, you have an incredible background and very appealing to our listeners in terms of what you specialize in. So my company, Marc Z Legal, Google Marc Z, MARC, and letter Z will come right up. Go on our wonderful Radio Entrepreneurs website, radioentrepreneurs.com, marczlegal.com, MARCZLEGAL.com, and 617-338-1300.
I want to thank you for being on the show today. Remind all our listeners, this is Radio Entrepreneurs.